Hi, everybody. I wanted to go over this application that I've developed called Caught in the Head. Essentially, purpose of this application is to utilize cognitive behavior therapy to help children, whether they're having thoughts that are really bothering them, something occurred during their day that caused them to react. This app is designed to help children process these thoughts and move past some of ones that might be particularly difficult for them. I think it's important to know when you start using this app with children that they need to be guided through it. You need to walk through things with them. You need to be creative in some of your responses. And with time, the end goal really is the child uh, won't even need the app and can kind of utilize some of these techniques automatically. The first thing you'll do when you use this app is you'll sign in with your Google account. In this case, I'm going to sign in with my account here. I'm signing in as a parent. There's an opportunity to sign in as an educator or a therapist and then see what a child's log is. But for the purposes of this demo, I'm just logging in as a parent. I'm going to continue. And then I actually have my children here, and I have some test children in terms of just ones that I can create um, example data with. So we'll do this test two child over here. And if you'll notice right now, if you hit mood history, you get nothing. There's no history to this child. And I can always go back to the children that are associated with the parent if you want to do more than one child. You can also add a child here. Um, it's relatively easy. And the other thing I want to note in this screen, when you go over the children, if you highlight over it, you get an ID. When you, as an educator, want to monitor a child and see, or a therapist, you want to see what the child's mood log is. If a parent says, well, it's child ID 25, that educator can then monitor that child and actually help the child as well. So whoever has access or gets into this screen over here will have the ability to help the child work through thoughts as well as look at the prior history. So we're going to walk through one of these and just show a couple of examples of how to utilize this, and then hopefully it helps people. So we're presented with a screen, and you'll sit down with a child and you'll say, okay, what happened? So, we'll go through a very quick example, and the child will say, you know, um, everyone hates me. And you'll say, what do you mean everyone hates you? That's, unlikely that everyone in this class hates them. And you'll say, well, I started to speak up in class and I said the wrong word, and then kids laughed. And then therefore everyone hates me. So hopefully many of us know that these thoughts, like a all or nothing thought that everyone hates me, is not a conducive thought, and also thinking that everyone hates you will lead to other thoughts, and you know it's depressing. And I think I'd like to note also adults can certainly use this app too. While I did primarily think about it in terms of how children would use it, adults certainly can use this as well. So we're going to deal with this particular thought. We're going to say, what is the situation or thought? So uh, I'm going to just type here, and I have notes throughout this app. Describe what happened, describe what your thoughts were. This is really free form, so I tried to answer a question in class. I mispronounced a word, and everyone laughed. When you're done, you're just going to hit add it. And we can keep adding situations here if we want, but it's generally easier when you start this to just work on one. You're gonna hit next. Well, what did that trigger? So did that make you sad, angry? What we can kind of go back and we can really go into detail here if we wanted to and just say everyone laughed. I got upset, felt terrible. You can really elaborate, but overall, what was the general mood? So I'm going to say the kid likely was very sad, right? Well, then I want the kid to rank how sad they were. Very happy, clearly not. Happy, no. But they probably were here. Very sad or sad. We're going to say very sad. And this is important later because you'll rank the moods. So then we have these worry thoughts. So they were really sad, but when we have a thought such as everyone hates me or I'm a loser, any of these kind of things, these are what I want to call them the worry thoughts. They're cognitive distortions. So we know these are incorrect way of thinking. And you can, as you highlight over these, talk to the children in terms of what they might be thinking. And they'll ask you to explain these, they'll ask you to go through them. And if you're very patient, they'll say, oh, yeah, that's what I was doing. So as you go over them, you'll see they discuss what are some of these cognitive distortions. All or nothing. Uh, I'm either perfect or I failed. It's all or nothing. Overgeneralization, thinking one bad thing means everything is bad. I failed, so I'll always fail. So I would say the kid might be overgeneralizing that everyone hates them. Melter filtering, focusing only on the negatives and ignoring the positives. Well, they could ignore all the other positive things that occurred that day and just focus on this. So they could experience some mental filtering. Discounting the positive, ignoring achievements and good things you do. They could be ignoring the positive interactions they had with other kids. They could be jumping to conclusions. So you can see as you read through these, you can work with kids. And the examples I have over here, assuming the worst without evidence, these are just examples in terms of how you jump to conclusions. There's many ways you jump to conclusions. So depending on what the situation is and how you're working with a child, get them to discuss kind of what is going on in their heads. You are getting your child to a point where they are thinking beyond what is the actual situation and is what is occurring, and they're thinking, how is their brain processing this event that occurred, and how can we circumvent it in a sense to not process it in such a negative light. So I'm going to pick these three and hit next. What actions did you take? So you had this mood. It was bad. Did you start crying? Did you start sulking? Did you shut down? You can discuss. It could be one, many, and this helps just in terms of when you look at these mood logs later, and you can go over with the child. You can show the child, well, this worked for you. This didn't work for you. That is the other part of this exercise that's very important. So I'll pick crying, sulking, shutting down. What are alternative actions you could have taken? So I have some canned ones over here, such as meditation, exercising, but not every one of them are going to fit. I also have, so these are alternative actions, deep breathing, that kind of thing. But I have a challenge bank here as well. That some of these are great, right? Maybe they aren't talking about me. Maybe they aren't laughing about you. Um, I've overcome worse things before, or uh, I like my favorite is I don't know what's in other people's heads. I don't know that they think I'm a loser, this or that. And then I have this box over here that you can enter your own, a custom challenge. So this I encourage people to be creative with because a lot of times when you do this, the kids like I don't know if this is going to work. You're getting creative in a sense of how you're challenging. This is all about challenging those thoughts, right? So everyone's laughing at you and you think everyone thinks you're ridiculous. You could just say, sometimes when I hear a funny thing, I laugh too. It doesn't mean I think the person who said it is a loser. So this is just a custom. I add it here. I can keep adding things. You're going to click next. And then this is extremely important. Now that we've challenged the thought and we've gone through it, how do you feel now? Do you still feel very sad? I'd at least hope after this exercise the kid is maybe just sad, or maybe just okay. And you're going to submit the mood log. You'll get a little confirmation that says the mood log was added. You'll hit okay. And this is the part that I think when you first start this, try to do it once a day, or you can use it even for good thoughts. But it's a practice for the kid to challenge things when things are really bad. So we can go to test two child, which is the one I worked in. And now if we look at the mood history here, um, this is now the mood logs you can refer to. And you can see on 610, we worked on this. Uh, Thought together. It was a type of sadness. We know what happened with this mood, and I translated the feelings of sadness or anger into 100%. It's like an extreme range of emotion. And then when we were finished with the exercise, we got the kid down to 60%. So how do we get the kid to 60%? You're going to say, when you do this exercise multiple times, you're going to wind up being able to go through this mood log and say, hey, you know what? These things, and you can actually sort the mood, updated, initial, sort by date. You're going to say, you know what really worked for you that got you from 100 to 60 or 100 to 30? When you challenged it, like this, you use this particular challenge. That's a really good way of getting them to know what works, how to challenge the thoughts. Um, so this is just a brief demo of how to use this. I'm really happy to answer questions or how you can utilize it for kids. I've seen benefits with my own children. I've utilized this with my own children. I've utilized it with myself. It's classic cognitive behavior therapy. You can read up on it. There's several good resources. I'll try to attach that also in the detail to this video, but please ask questions. I'm also open to additional features. I primarily designed this app to help children really who are struggling, and I hope it helps people out there. So please drop me a line, let me know what your thoughts are, and hopefully it helps some people. Take care.